My project is on the fear of death. I portrayed this by doing an ombre dress going from live flowers to dead. I used inspiration from the movie Midsommar and the holiday Day of the Dead, and many other photo shoots done with flowers. Flowers are often used at many events representing death like memorials, funerals, and much more. Flowers are an iconic symbol of death and in my eyes are a great way to portray the fear.
I'm scared of clowns and my worst fear is dying from this virus that's going around. So to represent the clown part of the costume, I made it extra colorful, but since clowns are scary, I added red eyes, which would be colored contacts. To add a scary effect to represent the virus, I used the color green because it's the color of the virus and it gives me sickly vibes. The bottom part that is red is the blood representing people who have died from this virus. If you pass the blood, the red trim, that represents the people who have survived this virus. The breaking part of the dress is representing the people whose life would be different forever because surviving something so terrible like this is life-changing.
When I first heard the theme for the fashion show was going to be Fear Factor, I honestly had no idea what I was going to do. Then I came across the fear of drowning or aquaphobia. I'm not sure where this fear stuck out to me, but I instantly thought of many ways I could portray this fear as a costume, and I went with a flowy dress ombre look. The ombre would gradient from a blackish blue fabric towards the bottom to a lighter yet still dark blue, signifying the depth of the water. I also thought of doing things like specifically wearing the model's hair only below the neck, showing the water was gradually making its way up her body, further portraying this fear of drowning.
The fear I chose for my design was the fear of reflection, spectrophobia. I interpreted this in a literal sense by having small hand mirrors hanging from the waist and hand mirror earrings. But since reflection can also mean looking back on past moments, I decided to incorporate vintage-inspired puff sleeves. To further this interpretation, I also did patchwork on the bottom of the dress, which was inspired by quilting. Hi, my name is HERMANI, and I am presenting to you Ophidiophobia, the fear of snakes. Why is it you fear the snake? Is it its sneakiness, or that it is always ready to attack with fangs that may bear poison? Is it its quick agility to move fluidly and strike you? My design represents snakes in the way that they should be feared and in the way that they are embraced. My design shows a woman wearing a snake print long sleeve bodysuit. She's embracing the snake. Her strong pose and body joy adds to this idea. And another way, my design shows how the snake has striked her and taken control. The snake is seen draped around her body and a part of the dramatic collar. With all that blood left behind, it's probably best you fear them.
Hello, my name is Isabella ANDUJAR, and the fear I chose was clowns. The fear of clowns, also known as Coulrophobia, is one of the most common phobias, mainly because of their unsettling, permanent facial expressions. In my opinion, the creepiest part of clowns is the fact that there could be anyone behind the dramaticized makeup, masks, and clothes, even a serial killer. I decided to portray this by designing a killer clown hiding behind a smiling mask. She has a white and black striped corset along with matching bloomers with red trim, buttons, and bows. On top of the bloomers is a tutu with layers of sparkly red and black tulle. To bring this all together are some white thigh highs, lacy gloves, and a ruffled collar splattered with the blood of her enemies. I was really excited about designing this costume, and I hope you liked it.
Hello, my name is ZELAYA. I will be presenting renderings on Atelophobia, better known as the fear of imperfection. This fear can affect so many people and can cause things like OCD, anxiety, and depression. This feeling can trap people and make them feel restricted. It inconveniences lives. The scariest part of this fear is that you can only inflict it on yourself. I want to display this feeling by giving both models cage-like skirts and restricting strappy tops. The restricting part of the design with heavy designed fabric shows that under this fear, your creativity can feel confined. The simple fabric represents how people with atelophobia are scared of flaws. As someone who struggles with this fear, the only way to overcome it is to not manifest in it and to allow yourself to make mistakes and take risks. Thank you.
My name is MAKYA ELLISON. My theme for this year is the deep sea. My design has a high-low skirt to symbolize the deep and shallow waters of the ocean, while underneath the skirt there is a black tight romper to symbolize death by drowning. I feel like drowning would feel like everything is closing in and making you unable to move. For this design, I made it tighter. I took multiple patterns and combined them together to make the romper that I wanted. And then for my color scheme, it was colors you would see in the oceans, like blues and corals and greens. Thank you.
A Wendigo, an evil spirit as mentioned in folklore. They are said to be found in the northern forests of Nova Scotia, the east coast of Canada, the Great Lakes of Canada, and the United States. These creatures are well known for murder, greed, and cannibalism. They thrive in colder climates. It is said that they bring famine and starvation. Their size is determined on how many people they have consumed. Visually, you can see death and decay. Ceremonies would have been conducted during these times of famine for these creatures. The last known ceremony was conducted in the United States at Lake Wendigo within northern Minnesota. If you ever encounter a Wendigo, run. These creatures are never satisfied and always on the hunt. Thank you.
I actually did 2 fears and decided to put them into one costume. For my costume, I decided to go with a jean skirt made up of an old pair of pants, a black t-shirt with different iron-on patterns, and lastly, a pair of gladiator sandals. The costume itself is supposed to represent a little black girl who feels as though she is not enough, autophobia, and she is being impaled by needles, AICHMOPHOBia, that describes why she feels as though she isn't enough. Little black girls every day get told that their beautiful black hair is too natural or their skin is too dark. For the makeup, I went out and bought syringes and used a black marker to write on them. Then I used wax and attached the syringes to the body. Then used foundation to cover the waxy color. Then on the face, I did a big-eyed doll type of look with big tear bullets coming down. Thank you.
They always say face your fears, but do you really want to face death? When I started my design, I had full intentions of a full corpse, but I pondered what could make this bigger and better to really bring the design to life. We have her morphing from this lovely and exquisite being to this rotting, hideous, dying corpse. For this, I gathered items, dyed the fabric to make it corpse blue, make a dress to stay on the beauty side of the model. I sewed on the dress, then made a white shirt to go under the dress. I used a baby pink and white on the graceful side to represent innocence. My inspiration for this look was Tim Burton and one of my favorites, Corpse Bride. I loved the look of Emily and how beautiful she looked even though she was dead, so I wanted to see if I could do my own version, so I brought it to life.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is AKIA. I will be presenting my masterpiece named Emily. She is half human and part voodoo. She was made by this little boy who was cursed with voodoo spirits. He decided to create a doll, then bring her to life. Emily tries to fit in with all the people around her. She is made with blood, hay, hair, and 5-week piece of clothing. The big bright red heart on her right side of her chest is what carry the ingredients. Those who make fun of her gets a voodoo doll created out of them and their life is gone. A strand of hair, a droplet of blood, a piece of hay, and your life is in a couple of stitches. The way she talks, the sound she makes, boom, there's Emily. Be aware. Thank you.
For my fear, I chose a kraken. I chose this because it represents a fear of the ocean and how little we actually know about it. The legends of the kraken tell that as a sailor approached what they assumed to be an island, they soon realized they were in for trouble. I hope to create this effect by using a cape that transitions into a train. I chose a fabric called crepe fabric, which resembles the skin of an octopus or squid, which kraken legends stem from. Overall, I hope to create a sense of fear that what you may view as safety can easily become danger and loss.
My designs represent the fear of judgment. My first design is a dress that shows a lot of skin. There's nothing restricting or hiding her from feeling free to be who she wants. The structure in the top part of the dress gives off a strong personality, which shows she's confident and doesn't care what people think. I chose the colors black and red because they show dominance. My second design is a two-piece dress that fully covers the body. She doesn't want to be seen, therefore she's hiding. She doesn't want anyone to notice her mistakes or flaws or judge her by the way she looks. The flowers symbolize how she wants to grow out of this fear. The see-through skirt represents the fact that she wants to break free, but there is another shield that she is hiding behind.
Hello, my name is Shira Hebelwhite, and I designed the fear of institutionalization. During my research, I found that in the 1800s, being institutionalized was a much more common fear than it is today. People would get put in a hospital for things deemed as unusual back then, such as crying. For my female's look, she's wearing a lavender baby doll dress to show her sweet and innocent character, yet she's held in buckles and hand restraints. She's also wearing an iridescent sheer top to represent her diagnosed illusions. And she has an 1800s time period lace shoe to match the buckles around her wrist. For my male's look, I went with a more literal show of restraint.
with a straitjacket-inspired top and heavy long sleeves weighing him down. And again, a 1800s time period shoe, folding over the way his sleeves fold over his shoulder. Thank you.
First sketch, I decided to represent a serial killer. I did this by putting him in all neutral browns so he blends into the crowd and doesn't really stand out. When I first decided to do a serial killer, it was tricky because I didn't want him to look like a killer. I wanted him to blend in, but without wearing quote-unquote normal clothes. So I then decided on the monochromatic brown look. On to the second sketch. This sketch was 110% inspired by John Wayne Gacy, the clown killer. A lot of times, especially in the 1970s, clowns were looked at as people who made children and families laugh and smile, which made it so shocking that someone who seemed so fun and bubbly could murder 33 plus victims. I portrayed this by making a classic red and yellow jumpsuit with colorful polka dots and a bright colored wig to attract victims. However, the makeup is runny, dark, and something you can't see from very far away.
My fashion show concept is inspired by the Angel of Death, also known as the Grim Reaper. I decided to create two designs being the children that he has created, with his lover, Light. Hence the human form. These two ladies are very classy and take on from their dad. I wanted to keep the common color black so I could add a small hint of gold and white to represent their mother. White is a very pure color and gold is a prized possession in the human world, so her daughters are her prized possession. I use small hints of gray to complement the black, finishing my design. Thank you.
Fear Factor fashion show piece, I decided to base my designs off thunderstorms. This fear is known as astrophobia, and about 15% of people have this phobia. I remember when I was younger, I was terrified of storms. I was especially scared of thunder and lightning. But as I got older, I realized how beautiful and calming thunderstorms could be. I incorporated the colors associated with thunderstorms, from the soothing blue-gray of rain clouds to the electrifying loud bright colors of lightning. Both designs incorporate the fluffy texture seen in clouds, but as a contrast, I wanted to also add some structure to the bodices of the dresses. The accessories in my sketch include raindrop and lightning bolt dangly earrings, crystal raindrop-shaped beads and trim, and platform knee-high rain boots. With my designs, I wanted to show the beauty and elegance in what a lot of people fear.
My name is Kale Ward, and my fear is the fear of mental illness. Even in 2020, mental illness is a taboo subject in many homes, despite 1 in 5 adults experiencing a mental illness in the US. I want to depict in my designs the reality of mental illnesses and what they look like. My first design depicts anxiety. My model has a very innocent young appearance to her with a baby pink dress, Mary Jane shoes, and a ponytail. But her dress is shredded in places and she has dirt all over her. This design choice was meant to signify the wear and tear that her disorder has on her, and to show that absolutely anyone, regardless of stereotypes, can suffer from anxiety disorder. My second design depicts bipolar disorder. Although rarely spoken about, bipolar disorder affects 46 million people globally. My design depicts the two states of bipolar disorder, mania and depression. The right side of the dress shows depression, or an intense feeling of sadness, with dark fabric and shards of a mirror decorating the dress to show the feeling of self-loathing within the individual. On the opposite end of the spectrum, mania is depicted on the left side of the dress. Although different for every person suffering with bipolar disorder, many describe mania as a period of euphoria, which is why I have the clouds painted on the left. Lastly, both of my models have butterflies to cover their mouths, signifying the silence around mental illness that exists. Thank you.
my name is Gian Vidal, and for this year's fashion show, I chose to do the fear of drowning. I chose the fear of drowning because I find the over-encompassing idea of drowning is purely terrifying. In my first dress, I wanted to show the overwhelming aspects of drowning. I chose to do a tulle skirt to get the dimension and volume of drowning in the ocean. Hanging from each piece of tulle is a teardrop crystal to imitate the look of dripping water. The shirt has pearls hanging off the shoulder and a netting to further incorporate oceanic qualities and symbols. For my other look, I chose to exemplify the feeling of entrapment while drowning. With the engulfing ocean all around, the ocean can feel just like a prison. I chose to do a form-fitted skirt and top with satin ribbon hanging vertically like prison bars. On each piece of ribbon are teardrop crystals to again look just like dripping water. The shirt has ropes of pearls crisscrossing the whole thing just like chains. Both dresses have similar blues, greens, grays, and blacks to incorporate all the colors of the ocean. Thank you.
My name is Ashlyn Smith, and today I'll be presenting 2 designs inspired by the fear of commitment. I chose to base my 2 designs on the theme of marriage and divorce from the perspective of the gown. My first design represents the special day. Weddings are often expensive, lavish, and focused on the bride. For my gown, I was inspired by Issa Makino's ostrich feather couture wedding dress. My materials were chosen based on structure and quality to further represent the lavish and expensive trends often associated with weddings. The dresses are designed to be constructed into 5 parts: lining, bodice, outer layer, skirt, and veil. The outer layer is a combination of white silk and cotton dual satin and white crinkled silk chiffon, which gives the outer bodice structure and texture. The skirt is constructed of Italian white novelty stripe fringed woven fabric with 6-inch double-ply white ostrich feather trim parallel to the fringe striping on the fabric. The veil is made of the white crinkled silk chiffon and is lined with white ostrich feather trim. My second design represents the day of divorce. Divorce has many side effects or stereotypes associated with it, such as emotional distress that leads to substance abuse and dangerous or destructive behaviors, loss of assets or investments, and ultimately a loss of commitment. In my renderings, I presented these fears and side effects by the change of makeup, loss of the wedding ring, and introduction of the wine glass. The dress is to be constructed the exact same but torn and burned in select spots on the veil and skirt. Wine and makeup stains are organically placed on the bodice and neckline. This has been my Fear Factor design inspired by the fear of commitment. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ivy Mitchell, and the concept for my design is snakes. For both my designs, I wanted them to have an edgy modern look to them. Snakes can be found almost anywhere in the world. That is why, for my designs, I decided to incorporate my favorite looks from around the world. For my girl design, I gave her an Asian-inspired look by giving her a structured top with sharp lines. This is to represent a snake's fangs. I also gave her bloomer pants that are fitted at the bottom and a sheer white kimono. The kimono represents how a snake sheds its skin. For my boy design, I gave him an African-inspired look by giving him a dashiki top with sharp lines pointing out and a lighter colored long sleeve underneath. I also gave him an iridescent fishnet overlay that represents the iridescence of some types of snakes. Thank you.
My name is Anthony D'Amico, and I will be explaining my 2 designs for this year's fashion show theme, Fear Factor. My first design I have titled The Unknown. A fear that can be universally shared is that which we don't know or can't comprehend. I have based this design around the Wolfman, because the wolf is the most demonized creature in history. Along with its werewolf aesthetic, things of note are the red dots on the body and the large face on the torso, to give a nod to the red eyes in the wood analogy. This is tied together with tree bark bracers with lethal braid protrusions, burnt orange shorts, and furry calves and feet. The next is titled The Unexpected. This is a representation of the fear for the worst and the least likely of things. It is a split design sected between front and back. The front shows a facade of an innocent little girl. It shows her in a teal skirt with a white lace collar and a pink and white striped overall skirt. On her head she has a crimson red bow to allude to that of a little horned devil. The back was done with a black top that exposed the back and the skirt now in a silver and purple. The gray makeup on the exposed parts of the body and the prosthetic scars give the feel of zombie girl and possessed child I was going for. Thank you.
Hey guys, it's Gianna here, and I just wanted to say goodbye. You know, I'm gonna miss all you guys. You guys are so awesome and talented and creative. Even the freshmen I didn't really get to meet, but I know that you guys are gonna all do great things, and I'm definitely gonna be there, and I'm so excited to see all of it. If there's any advice I could give y'all, it would be 3 things. Listen up. The first one would be stop procrastinating. We've all been there before fashion show, juries, costume parades, projects, whatever it is, scrambling, running around, trying to get our lives together. It's not cute. It's not fun. Ask for help if you need it. You know, get the supplies you need and try and get your work done in a timely fashion. It will pay off in the end. Trust me. The other piece of advice I would give you guys would be to participate. You know, it's kind of boring if you just, you know, don't do anything. You know, get involved. Try to do a play, you know, audition for, you know, to be a designer, like do something fun, you know, make those memories with your friends, because let me tell you, the time goes by quick. Time goes by quick. I'm already a senior, I'm already graduating. I remember my first day at Blake. It goes by fast. The last piece of advice I would say would be to have fun and be creative. You know, there's so many opportunities that all of us get to showcase, you know, the things we know. And if you want more opportunities, speak up, say it, you know, advocate for yourselves. But have fun, be creative. That's what you're there for. You're there to do costume. Have the best time that you can with it, because it'll go by quick. I love you guys. I'm going to miss you guys, but you're all going to do great things, and I will definitely see you later. Bye.
Hey, I just wanted to say that I'll miss every single one of you, and a piece of advice I would give to my underclassmen is that just to keep going and to keep learning and just to not give up, because some of you at my age are even better than I was, and I know you guys will just be so successful in whatever you guys choose to do in the future. And I just want to say that I'll miss every single one of you.
Well, it's time for us to say goodbye. Underclassmen, you guys put out some pretty good work. A lot of you guys should be proud of what you guys do and what you are going to achieve further on. Seniors, we made it. Ashlyn, Gianna, Ivy, and Hannah. 4 years. 4 years of tech weeks and rehearsals and musicals and fashion show, and it's a crazy ride, and I probably wouldn't ask for it any other way, or any other people for that matter. My time in the program, it was nothing but good for me, and I'm sure everyone can kind of say the same thing about it too. We got something special in our program. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm a costume queen, true and through. Even if I'm a guy, it's 2020, get over it. I mean, goodbye.